Hello, hello. Now I can see you. Every single one of you. I got up today. I was like, I'm going to ride my bike for the first time this season. And, usually I ride in the winter and it's not a problem, I mean, I like to ride all the time, but, with weightlifting and stuff, it's hard. You need days to recover. So it's not always, the ideal situation. I took a little nap today in my chair here as we speak earlier. So I can be, but I feel great, man. It's not like a freaking bike ride when like the day is starting to get warm in the late morning and you kind of ride through some great areas and it's just fucking awesome. I posted some little short clips on the Instagram, Lenses of Lumens. That's my name there. But I try to keep, my streaming and Twitter and stuff all the same so y'all can find me. Because the Instagram crowd's way different than the freaking streaming crowd and Twitter crowd, which is really bizarre. But I can understand that because that was like my photography stuff. And yet I do a lot of, I really like to do photography and videography sometimes. But, I will say that in the summertime, the light is not so great. I mean, especially if you're like a mood lighting kind of person like me, fine, So I like to do videos with mood lighting and lights at night. It's kind of like, I just like that kind of lighting. And in the summer, you're not going to get that because the freaking sun comes up at like, 5 o'clock now in the morning? And it's up till like maybe 9:30, 10. No, it was 10. And it was still light out. And I was just like, what the hell's going on? People? Jesus. Can we have some darkness? But we're kind of around past June 21st, which was the changing where it's starting to lose daylight. But it's, we got to wait all the way to September, October for the more darkness and the rain, which is fine. I don't do a lot of photos and videos. Plus, to be honest with you, I used to have a really good photo gig with an entertainment magazine, and that was great. I really enjoyed that. But that kind of work is like really slim because the economy and stuff like that. So I'm doing more streaming stuff and videos, and I'm going to try to do some more tech stuff that it's not so much tech. It's kind of like cyber. I wouldn't call it cybersecurity because everybody uses that term on the freaking videos, and it's annoying because they know nothing about the back end of a website or how to secure it. And they call cybersecurity taking your name off of a website. That's not cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is when you make 1 million different emails and you put them out there and see which one traps something, and then you get it. I mean, it's all kinds of really good stuff. If you guys want more of that, I got a ton of it, and I don't mind giving it up because, secure internet is nice, especially when you do web stuff. Because, web stuff is great, but you have to be careful. You have to really be careful on like a lot of things on the internet now because there's a lot of data being sucked up off the internet by, I wouldn't call them bots, but I call them bots because they are in a way, but they suck up a lot of data and then sell it to customers now. Instead of just like the search engines indexing stuff, now everybody's indexing in their own database and then they're selling it as a specialty item. And I see it. I know everything, on my websites. It goes on, so you could see, them doing stuff, and then you do a little research, and it gets even more. What's the word? When you start searching for stuff, and you see stuff, and you start unraveling like an orange or something, it's you're just like, oh, interesting. At the center of it, it's this company, but with 2 or 3 shells on the outside of it, it looks legit. And not saying it's not legit. I'm just saying data is being taken Just everything off the internet is being taken, indexed, and sold. And even Chat GPT and all those. I see those. You know, it's interesting. I love it. I've been on since I've been messing around with internet and hosting and, you know, the back ends since freaking the 90s, man. But I keep learning. You got to keep learning or you're fucking going to be passed up and not know, you know, what the fuck is going on in that, you know, realm. If that's your business, it's part of my business. It's not all that business. I do a lot of social media stuff for people. You know, it's funny, and there's so many experts out there. But if you know all the platforms and what they do on the back ends of platforms and who exposes you more than keeps you quiet without paying, there's a lot of that now. It's just the nature of the beast. There's going to come where, you know, all of that's going to be non-existent. There's going to be one place, and it's going to have all your stuff, and people can find it a different way, you know, because it's always relied on search engines. But I saw this really cool article today about some guy who used to work at, and he was exposing a lot of stuff that they did in, you know, search results and whatnot. And I mean, it's, to me, you know, I've always known this stuff. And I know that, you know, you can, any database you can control, whatever database it is, you can control who can see it and who can, or who can see parts of it and who can't. It's just the way it is. It's the nature of the beast. It's kind of interesting. It interests me to hell because I see all these changes. For a while ago, before social media, it was like everybody thought that, you know, getting your email address for a big old email list and sending you out blasts all the time was like the thing to do. I mean, it is if you want to know stuff about like social, you know, like Amazon or, you know, product websites or your favorite, you know, things you buy on the internet websites, whatever they may be. And that's always nice because then you can see stuff when they release it. But social media kind of took that away from them in that way. But it was kind of good because a lot of times email lists would be sold by other companies. And an interesting thing, I have an interesting thing that happened to me. And I knew that the company was doing it. I can't really say what company it was. But there was a company that, you know, was selling domain names, but they were also selling, you know, oh, you need to hide your information, or, you know, it costs this much to hide it. And they would expose your email address on purpose so that you get all and spam it. And they would spam your email address that you actually registered with them long ago. And I got in this fucking circle to where I kept changing my email address because when you own domains and emails, you can do that. And you can change them or make aliases, whatever you want to do. I mean, you can even do it with Google if you wanted to. But what I'm saying is I kept changing it. And I swear within a week or 2 weeks after, bam, there come the spam, there come all this stuff. And the thing is, they used to do it with my address before that. And it was really interesting. And they were fucking adamant about doing it. And they did it for a long time. And I would change my email address as soon as it started happening. And it was like this, it was fucking comedy because it was like this thing that it's like this game we played. Oh, okay. All right. I see what you're doing. Change it. And then I would delete that email alias or address, whatever, and then make a new one for that particular company. And I knew it was them because it kept coming on that email. And, you know, and these are ways that you can expose people who sell your stuff, you know. I really like doing that because in the end, you know, they lose. Especially people who sell your email or your data. I hate it. So I'm adamant about doing that. But anyways, I kept busting them, and it went on for like 3 years, like not even longer probably. And they would send you, hey, you got to have, update your email address or blah, blah, blah. Is this one? They would ask you that every time because, the laws and the rules of ICANN and this, that, and the other, make you have to do that. It was just a joke. And, you can't blame them for business practices trying to make money, like selling the, privatize your email and your information that where you own the domain. Now it's kind of normal with most registrars, but a lot of them made you pay extra a month to fucking do that, or a year, whatever it was. I think it was a month at first, and then it was a year. And then they used to make you pay for like the SSL certificates as well. And, and now those are kind of really common because it's, they want a secure website. Everybody does. And it should be. And I'm actually glad that that's become the staple in that kind of, in the realm of the internet. Because for a while it wasn't, you had to like back in PayPal through like the buttons that you would make from PayPal to sell stuff online. But now it's really cool and it's really easy. And everything's pretty much secure in that way. As long as it says HTTPS. So when you click on links, you got to make sure it's the website you're logging into and not a fake one. That was a scam a while back. But anyways, I went on and on with these guys, and I knew what they were doing, and I think they knew I knew they were doing. And then it came to one day I went to these motherfuckers. I was like, you ain't going to do this to me again. I was going to change it to something else. And I tried to change it. And they're like, you cannot change your email address anymore or so frequently or whatever the hell it was, And because it wasn't an option to do it. And I was like, and I was like, oh, it's war now. I'm fucking pissed. And so it was like, oh, hell no, they ain't gonna win this one. And so I was just like, and I let all my domains expire, and I transferred some or just let some expire and let a card expire and all that. And that's how you get out of that stuff, man, because they will use your card even if it's on there and you don't ask them. You have to constantly check that stuff because, they're in the business of making money. And if they can charge you accidentally and you don't see it or forget about it, that's the way it is, sadly. What do they call that? It's a very predatory. There we go. It's a very predatory business. Look, ice, keep me cool. But anyways, glad you've arrived. Thank you for letting me get off that my chest for quite a while, but it's kind of an interesting story, and it's a funny story because I won in the end. And, when you win on the internet, it's fucking great.